Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. Mga from another headlines as usual.
Prime Minister calls for breakthroughs to develop southeastern region. UN facilitates women's participation in peacekeeping operations. And later on, Hội Memories Land wins World Award.
Let's begin our bulletin with the news. First of all, report on recent activity by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on November 26th stressed the need for a new mindset, new breakthroughs, and new values to promote the development of the southeastern region. He made a request while chairing a conference in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province to launch the government's action plan for implementing a Politburo resolution on orientations for socio-economic development and defense security safeguarding in the southeastern region by 2030. Prime Minister Chính said the southeastern region should take the lead in the country in terms of green, inclusive, and comprehensive development. At the conference, ministries, sectors, and localities presented their action programs and plans to implement the resolution. Some international organizations and business associations also talked about investment cooperation to boost infrastructure connectivity, attraction of public attention to development cooperation, and potential and opportunities for green economic cooperation.
A United Nations Deputy Secretary General is on a visit to Vietnam, which are the UN official to see how the trip is processing.
The UN Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations Jean-Pierre Lacroix attended the International Conference on Women with the UN Peacekeeping Operations in Hanoi on November 26th. He told the event that the UN will continue creating a favorable environment for women, including those from Vietnam, to effectively participate in peacekeeping operations. The official recognized Vietnam's great contributions to the implementation of women, peace, and security agenda. At the event, delegation lessons learned in deploying female peacekeepers and gave recommendations, including the establishment of a network of women peacekeepers in the region. Those are committed to supporting Vietnam in setting up a center to promote the participation of women, including police women, in UN peacekeeping operations. Vietnam has joined the UN's work since 2014. Among 512 Vietnamese officers and soldiers sent to UN peacekeeping missions, over 70 are women.
We have more news coming up next. Let's take a look.
Two heritage pieces of Vietnam were recognized as part of Documentary Heritage in Asia and the Pacific on November 26th, at the 9th General Meeting of the Memory of the World Committee for Asia and the Pacific in Andong City, the Republic of Korea. They are a collection of handwritten Chinese and non-documents in Ha Tinh Province, and the 78-man high stele is on Nu Han Sun Mountain in Da Nang City. The steles feature writings of various genres by kings and mandarins of the Nguyen dynasty, monks, and scholars who used to set foot in the scenic landscape between the first half of the 17th century and the 1960s.
With 10-month positive results, Vietnam's major currency earners like aquatic products, rice, coffee, footwear, and handbags are very likely to exceed their export revenue targets set early this year.
With its $10 billion goal this year, aquatic products already brought home $9.5 billion in the 10 months of this year, up 34% annually. The figure for the whole year is estimated at over $11 billion, a record in the past more than 2 decades. Coffee has also surpassed the goal of $3 billion, as it earned over $3.2 billion from exports in the period. The goal of $25 billion by footwear and handbags sector is also within reach, as it raked in over $23 billion in January to October. With an average turnover of $2.2 billion each month, it is completely feasible to reach $27 billion this year. Against that backdrop, the ministry directed the Vietnam trade offices abroad actively instruct firms to switch to Asian markets that are less impacted by inflation, to diversify markets and ease reliance on traditional markets.
With quick recovery post-pandemic, air transport has become a pillar of economic and tourism growth, but overloads have added to the woes at major airports like Nội Bài in Hanoi and Tân Sơn Nhất in Ho Chi Minh City. Experts say infrastructure should be developed to ease congestion at airports.
Air travel is a mess at Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport in Ho Chi Minh City, especially during summer peak, with passengers waiting unhappily at departure halls or taxi stands. Due to congestion at the airport, many taxi drivers have been charging exorbitant fares. Despite concerted efforts, traffic inspectors have not been able to address the issue.
We are doing our best to tackle this issue.
We need to apply advanced technologies to control the flow of passengers at Tan Son Nhat Airport to help ease congestion and flight cancellations.
Meanwhile, the number of domestic passengers at Hanoi's Nội Bài International Airport during the peak summer tourist season has surpassed its desired capacity of 15 million a year. This resulted in the number of taxis and personal vehicles putting intense pressure on the airport's infrastructure.
We have set up a special force to handle congestion at the airport.
Poor infrastructure and management capacity have put constraints on airlines, which have to spend more on operating costs as aircraft must queue for up to an hour to take off or fly in patterns for long periods before landing. Attracting private investment is one way to develop airport infrastructure, but it takes 20 to 30 years for investors to see a return on their capital.
Institutional mechanisms must be improved to attract investors. Local authorities should also offer timely support so that airport investment projects are carried out smoothly.
Local airports serve as a locomotive for socio-economic development in the area. Localities need to have sensible planning for airports and work to ensure uniform infrastructure development.
Poor infrastructure at airports restricts aviation and tourism growth. Removing bottlenecks in airport infrastructure will help avoid flight cancellations and delays, especially as the aviation sector is on the path towards strong recovery.
The urban economy is expected to contribute some 75% of the national GDP by 2025 and about 85% by 2030 under the action program of the government.
The program set the target of raising the urbanization rate to over 50% and the number of urban areas nationwide to about 1,000 to 1,200 by 2030. By that time, there will be a number of national and regional urban centers that satisfy health, education, training, and culture standards set for an urban area in the top 4 ASEAN countries. The average housing floor area per capita in urban areas will reach at least 28 square meters by 2025 and 32 square meters by 2030. Broadband internet will cover more than 80% of the urban households by 2025, and target all of them in the next 5 years. By 2045, Vietnam aims to have at least 5 international urban areas connected with regional and global networks. The program also includes devising policies and legal documents to facilitate implementation.
The diversity of modern textiles and garments has made traditional silk weaving and silk products lose their favored position in the market. Ensuring silk weaving regains its foothold is the major concern for traditional silk aficionados.
According to painter Nguyễn Đức Bình, a traditional long dress researcher, Vietnamese silk lost its competitive edge to rivals from other countries due to a lack of availability of diverse silk.
I think the patterns on silk fabric don't meet the needs of consumers.
Silk weaving villages have not paid sufficient attention to the requirements of sewers and users.
Vietnamese silk has been warmly received by domestic and international customers, with production of silk villages rising over recent years. Vạn Phúc Silk Village in Hanoi's Hà Đông district produced more than 1.5 million meters of silk each year. However, researchers believe it is hard for Vietnamese silk to return to its glorious days if there are no links between silk villages.
Loose links between silk weaving villages and tailors results in an absence of new silk fabric.
Insiders have suggested forming a supply chain for weaving villages, tailors, and distributors to better grasp customer trends.
The Hoi An Memories Land, a complex of tourism, art, performance, entertainment, and resort spa in the middle of the Thu Bon River, has been named the World Leading Entertainment Destination 2022 at the World Travel Awards in Oman.
The complex, which is the first and only combined art performance and resort in the UNESCO-recognized World Heritage Site of Hoi An, and the tourism hub in central Vietnam, was designed as a green site for domestic and international tourists. It also hosts the Keyuk Hoi An Memories, a 60-minute show on the 400-year history and development of Hoi An during the Dai Viet, Great Viet, state in the 15th-18th century, on the open-air stage in the middle of the Thu Bon River. The show, which had been held for 500 nights since its debut in 2018, involves the performance of 500 artists, making it an amazing entertainment destination in Hoi An after Lantern Night in the Old Quarter. It was recognized as the leading historical spectacle at the Best Hotels Resorts Awards by Wanderlust Tips in the Republic of Korea, and chosen to be on at Times Square, New York in the US in March of 2019.
The northern mountainous province of Dien Bien turns yellow in November as Hoa Dao Quy white sunflowers are in full bloom throughout its forests and valleys. Now let's take a look. That's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. See you next time.